Hey everybody, this is Carl Alexander here with Keeping It Real. Today, it's going to be one of those videos where it's not so great news type of video. Well, let's put it like this. This month has been really, really hard for me. And you guys know, if you've been watching my videos, that the menopause or the perimenopause, whatever the hell they want to call it, I wish it would just pause. Because I am going 4 months now since February with the heavy hot flashes and the night sweats, and it's been really hard. It's been really, really hard. And I know in my last couple of videos or a couple of videos ago, I told you about a new supplement that I was gonna start taking. And at first I thought it was doing its thing. I did. It felt like the hot flashes were not as frequent, but I want to say that I started becoming extremely emotional. And I'm like, okay, I expect to be emotional because I'm tired. My son and I, we have to be out of this house by June, which is literally right around the corner. So there's a lot on my plate right now. And I know that my sweating has a lot to do with the amount of stress that I'm under. So the last thing I looked for were side effects to what was supposed to be an all-natural supplement. Now, and by no means am I telling anybody that this product does not work. Let me put that out there right now. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it may or may not be working for me, because I am very sensitive to certain things, regardless of whether it's prescription or non-prescription. Never know until it's in my body. So with that being said, I've been on the medication for a couple of weeks. Give it some time to get into my system. The last few days, I've been struggling really, really hard with fatigue. I mean, lethargic is not the word for it. And I'm usually like that around my period. So it's like, okay, I'm expecting my period any day now, which, no, it's not going to come down. But I started to notice I was feeling really tired. I couldn't shake it. I thought maybe it was just because, I'm just overly tired because I don't sleep in the night. I don't sleep at night too often because I'm awakened every couple of hours by intense hot flashes. So I'm like, all right, well, maybe that's what it is. So, I try to fight through it, work out, cook, clean, be normal, and it just wasn't working. It was hard. Then after a while, I started to notice that the depression was kicking in, and I'm like, wait, hold up. Why do I feel so bad? Like, why do I feel hopeless? And like the world is just not there for me. Just a bunch of craziness. Then over the weekend, I took my son to the park to play basketball, and I noticed that my eyes were extremely sensitive to the light. And I'm like, what the is this? I'm not used to this. And then I thought, well, Carla, you haven't really been eating here a lot lately, so, maybe it's just the stress of, all of these things. Okay, well, maybe it is the fact that I'm just not, eating as much. My appetite is not big, and here I am. I got the nerve to be trying to do a keto diet, and I can't even eat the food that I have in the house, 1 or 2 bites and I'm full. So that wasn't really something that I was happy about. So we're at the park, light is beaming on my face, and I'm like, I got to get out of the sun, which is what I did. And I just didn't feel right. I didn't feel right. I felt like I was going to pass out. I felt really bad. So, all right, I get to the, I drink a protein shake and everything. Like, I'm drinking my protein shakes because if I can't eat, let me just drink it down, do whatever. I did that and took my son to the park, like I said, and then we get ready to leave. And I'm like, let's go to Publix and get you something to eat. We go to Publix, and I almost passed out. I could feel it. I was standing there, and I saw lights. I says, holy shit. I think I'm about to pass out. So I held on to the railing where I was at in the deli section till it finally went away. And I looked at my son. I'm like, we've got to go home now. Got home. I got in the bed, and I stayed in the bed. And I was so tired that I couldn't even go to sleep. But I felt so bad. I felt horrible the next, and of course, I'm not thinking, again, it's not the medicine. Of course not. I'm not thinking that. So I pop another pill. Keep them hot flashes from coming because they're just coming like back to back to back to back as normal. And then the next morning I wake up and I'm feeling like shit again. I'm like, okay, this is not going to work for me. Something else has got to give, or else I'm going to the hospital because I don't feel right. I don't feel right at all. So my sister was like, well, what about the medication? What about the supplements that you're taking? And I said, my friend said the same thing. And I thought about it, but I was like, nah, it can't possibly be because you're supposed to be, 100% natural. Yeah. I looked up what I could find as far as the supplements that I'm taking. And there was a couple of forums where there wasn't enough information given for anybody out there who may have had a reaction to it or may not have. So there wasn't really much to go by. But this is what some of the ingredients could possibly cause. And then it was a list of different things, And I didn't really pay attention to all of them. I only paid attention to the ones that I felt like were me, which was a change in appetite, depression, and fatigue. Now, I stopped taking the medication. It's been about 24 hours. And today's probably the first day that I feel amazing. I'm still having my hot flashes, but I don't have that depression, and I'm not as tired. I was able to get through my workout, and I pushed through it. I'm taking my vitamins, I'm doing all of the things I'm supposed to do, drinking my water, all of the things that I'm trying to do to keep myself from being dehydrated. But if it's the supplements that made me feel the way I felt, then yeah, I'm definitely not going to take them anymore. I'd rather go through the hot flashes, because the hot flashes, last for what? They're annoying as fuck. Don't get me wrong. I hate them with a passion. I hate this part of my life. I truly do. This is not fun at all. I didn't expect it to be fun, but I didn't expect it to be this bad for me. This is bad for me. And this is the longest that it's ever lasted. This is 4 months going on with this. This is crazy. So for me to be able to work through it, to get into the gym and get my body right, let me tell you something, that shit takes dedication, because I am determined that I am not going to let this beat me. I am so determined to not fall into victim of being sick and all of these things start happening because my body is dehydrated, and oh no, we're not going through all that. So I'm saying that be smarter than me. I wanted relief so bad that I went for something that I thought was 100% natural and would be beneficial for me, and it turned out that it wasn't. And I'm not saying that the medicine won't work for other people. I'm saying that I feel the way I feel today, I haven't felt like this in a while. So I'm just going to stay away from that and see how I do, because if my hot flashes are where they're at right now, that means that I'm definitely on my way to being okay. Like, they're practically non-existent at this point, which I'm so thankful for. And I don't have to deal with that depression. Now, that's another thing I want to talk to you guys about. There's way too much mental illness going on out here. And there's way too many people that just don't give a shit. And I know that it's hard, that some people are so into their own life that they don't have time to look up and see and smile at somebody. But do you realize that if you take the time out to speak to one person, just say, hey, how you doing? You might save a person's life. I had to tell a lady that today because she was telling me that she's just running her mouth all over the place. She can't be quiet. She doesn't know why. I said, because you're not supposed to be quiet. I said, because you're meant to save someone's life today. Because sometimes when you have the gift of gab and you're just talking, sometimes that's all people need. When I was going through it, I reached out to my sister, and I was like, I was so raw on how I felt. I scared the hell out of her, and I know I did. But that was how I felt in that moment. And that if I continued to take those supplements, I don't know what state of mind I'd be in right now. Not thinking that would be the supplements, that maybe it's just my body getting worse and worse and worse. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. And my sister, she was just like, please go to the doctor, please go to the doctor. And I'm like, if I don't feel any better, I will. But this morning, I actually ate all my breakfast. I was so surprised. I even ate my lunch. And I didn't have that feeling like, oh my God, I don't feel like eating, I'm so full. Nah, I'm good. So, just like I said before, just be smarter than me. If you are going through the same thing I'm going through and you're just looking for a little bit of relief, whatever medicine that you do decide to purchase, look at the reviews. Yeah. You'd have thought I would know that, but it said all natural. I'm going for all natural, And that one's just not for me. It's just not for me. But I have another one, but I'm not gonna really worry about that until I need it, which I'm glad to say. There are a lot of people hurting out here, and they're hurting in silence. They don't know how to ask for help, you know, and I feel like it's our duty, it's our responsibility to help the next person. And I know that a lot of people don't feel like that. A lot of people just don't care. They're like, it's not my problem. But when it becomes your brother or your sister that commits suicide because they felt so alone, then it does become your problem. When friends and, you know, or co-workers are dying from, you know, depression, sadness, whatever, it becomes all of our problems because then we are all affected by it. So all I'm saying is that if you guys have a minute out there, you don't know who you're going to affect. You don't know who you might save. But just take a little bit of time from your world, your little center of your own world. Look up and just say hi to somebody. How are you? That means so much. And I know it does. All right. That's that. Now, OnlyFans update. You already know. If I've been sick for this last month, I haven't been making any money. I've been making very little money. You see, I post as much as I possibly can, but it's been rough. And it's rough for me because I'm going through something. I'm not just going through the menopause, but I'm also going through, you know, an eviction. So my kid and I have to be out of this house at least by, I want to say June. I'm trying to get out of here by June 8th because we're going to New York City. So, yeah, I just want you guys out here to know that there's a lot of things that life is going to throw at you. I'm serious. It is. It's going to throw all types of shit at you. But if you're really ready to make that change in your life, just do it. Just do it. I mean, I'm a living proof that, yeah, it's hard, but it's so doable. And if I can do it, and I used to be like, oh, I can't do shit. But if I can do it, I know you can do it. Okay? Now, my OnlyFans, yeah, like I said, not making no money. But I am making progress. So that's more important to me because I'm gaining more followers. You know, I'm doing my thing. It's a slow drip, but it's consistent. So I'm gonna take that. Thank you very much. I'm learning that you can't be nice to people. So if you are interested in becoming an OnlyFans, I say give yourself a 2-minute grace period after someone has hit you up in your DMs. Hi, how are you? You say, I'm fine and well. If they're going to start asking all types of questions, you kind of direct them to your OnlyFans page. If they're not interested, do not waste your time. I'm telling you, it's not worth it. I entertained this man. All I wanted to do was just get to know him. I wasn't looking for a relationship. This dude was like in London somewhere, you know, and he thought I was appealing to him. Well, he thought I was gorgeous. He thought I was beautiful. He didn't even believe that I was real, that I would actually speak to him. And I'm like, dude, I'm a person just like you. But the thing was, this mangina was so upset that I didn't respond to his DMs quick enough that he deleted all of his text dialogue from our conversation. Okay, so then he apologizes later and then starts his whole conversation up again, sends me a picture of himself. So I take a picture of it. He was like, why'd you take a picture? I said, because last time I tried to take a look at you, you went and deleted everything. I want to see what you look like. You know, I'm just trying to be friendly. So, again, after a couple of hours, I didn't respond quick enough to him. So he gives me the peace sign. Oh, it's like that? Okay. Dude goes, kindly delete my picture. I'm going to report you. What? You're going to do what? I mean, the fuck am I going to hold on to his picture for? You know what I'm saying? Been gone. It was gone the day I freaking clicked it. But whatever. But anyway, I wake up and my DM is filled with, you know, your video has been removed for copyright infractions or infringements or for copyright whatever. Okay, so I don't know if that was him or not, but I'm telling you, keep it to a minimum. Do not waste your time talking to these fellas because if they're not out to spend money on you, they're going to waste your time. And then you're going to have to deal with the bullshit of trying to get other things in place because somebody went and tried to jack your shit up. So don't waste your time. You are a professional. You're about your money. And that's how I look at it. I like being nice. I am a people person. I like understanding how the mind works. Where's the spiritual, where's the spiritual connection? I always look for the spiritual connection in a person. And for this dude to be so blatantly disrespectful, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, I'm not doing this anymore. Not when it comes to my business. Not when it comes to me trying to pay these bills, because I don't have anybody to help me with my bills. There is no child support. If my son needs something, dad'll do it. But I don't ask him for much unless I absolutely need it. That's where we are at right now in our relationship. We don't have one. We don't even speak at this point. And I hate that, because we were friends for a long time, but it is what it is. Now, because I don't have any help, I have to do what I have to do. And that's why I don't care about what anybody else thinks about me. I don't care. Because I got to pay these bills. I have a son that I have to raise. He's only 12. He's only 12. So I don't got time to play with anybody. I don't have time to be sick. I don't have time to be, passing out. I don't have time for any of these things, because I have a person that is holding on to me to say, I need you to be here. And that's the reason why I go hard. I go hard in the gym. I go hard when I'm in the house. I go hard in my life, because I'm worth it. I deserve everything that I'm working for. And if I don't get it, that'll be because God says, you know what, you've been blessed in so many different ways that you just don't need it. But if I do get it, I'm going to bless everybody, because that's just who I am. But anyway, so also, I am taking note that there's a lot of responses to my video as far as, what it's like, or what you can expect being the other woman. And I'm so happy that there's so many more women out here who are, ready to talk about it. They're ready to heal from it. And it's not an easy process. This is not an easy process. This is a very hard process. It took me a long time to get away from both the men. The first one was out of fear. My first relationship, I was terrified of him, period, point blank. I was straight up scared of him, because he used to threaten to kill me on a regular. And he would tell me the different ways that he'd actually find, he would come up with, what he would do is he would tell me the different ways that he could actually kill me. So that stuck in my head, so I stayed for a while and dealt with the bullshit until I just got to the point where you're going to have to just kill me, because I'm not staying. You're just going to have to kill me. And with the second one, I stayed with him because I loved him. I loved him, period, point blank. I loved him until I didn't. And I loved him I still love him. Like, I still love him. But he and I will never have anything. We won't even have we can't even be civil to each other, because of the situation and how he decided to deal with it. So it is what it is. One of the biggest things that I've been able to come away from this situation is being able to figure out who I am, what I want for my life, and how I plan on going about getting it. And it's always gonna be a task, because whatever you want in life, it's not gonna come easy. And there's always gonna be people that are gonna tell you that you can't do it, because I have people always telling me that I can't do it. One of the things that I used to always say is that if I didn't have bad luck, I'd have no luck. And within the last 3 years, I have learned to stop saying that, because God always has a plan for everyone. And just because some doors don't open for me doesn't mean that my luck is bad. It just means that I'm not going down the right path. God is never going to open up the doors to the wrong path, no matter what you might think. And it took me a long time. Like, just last week, perfect example. Last week, okay, so basically, I went ahead and I applied to LA Fitness about a month ago. And I go in and I talk to the managers, find out what's going on. Now, when I applied, I didn't apply for personal training. I applied for the bathroom maintenance. I did maintenance here before. I felt like it'd be a good side job. I wouldn't be bothering anybody. Nobody would bother me. It's part-time. I'd still be able to do my OnlyFans. I had it all figured out in my head. And for whatever reason, they just never hired me. Now, they need help really bad. But they weren't trying to hire me. Okay, but then the guy tells me, but we want you as a female personal trainer. A word? Okay. I filled out the application twice. And they tell me that, but you need a up-to-date certificate. I says, okay, no problem. So what do? I re-enroll in school. And I say, I'm going to take this investment and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it to this because it's going to work itself out because they already told me I had the job. I'm already set. So I'm good. I don't have to move. I'll find I'll find an apartment for me and my kid here and we're going to be fine. We're golden. No. Monday, I get a text message from the manager saying, oh, we can't hire you until you have an up-to-date certificate. What? So now I have another bill on top of all the other bills that I have that I can't pay for. And now I don't even have a job to pay for that bill. That if you hadn't have, and I went through all of this in my head. I was going through it. Then I realized something. Carla, pay attention. Take a minute and relax and understand that the universe is telling you something. It's meant for me to train. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, it's meant for me to train. Because no matter how many times I try to steer away from this one aspect of my life, because I'm like, I don't want to do it professionally. Like, I liked having a certificate. I just like being able to say I have it. But I never pushed myself for it because it wasn't like, that's not what I really want. I enjoy working out. There's a lot of people that don't like working out. Females are not going to work out like me. So what am I going to do? I'm going to sit here and get mad every time somebody doesn't show up to a session. I didn't want to go through all of that. So I'm like, I'm not doing it. And what happens? Opportunity pops up. I grab it and then it just falls through. I'm like, well, fuck. So my kid and I are moving to New York. So at this point in my life, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm just going to leave it up to the universe. Because I don't know shit. I stopped thinking that I know everything. Because clearly I don't. The only entity that knows more than me is God. So, okay. I'm going to follow suit. I'm just take the wheel. Here you go. Here you go, God. Boop. All yours. And we're going to find out what happens. But you know what? In that process, I've just eliminated all the stress behind everything else. I can't change what I can't fix. So I'm not going to worry about being miserable in it. I'm just going to go with the flow. And I'm going to still work out. I'm going to pack my stuff. And I'm going to be as happy as I possibly can for as long as I can. Because tomorrow is not promised to anybody. And the fact that this perimenopause or menopause or whatever the fuck you want to call it is so detrimental to my health, I have got to take the moments that I am given and make the best out of them. And I'm not going to do anything less. And if people don't like it, that's their problem. That has nothing to do with me. So if you're out here and you're feeling like you got shit on your plate that's just so heavy, well, guess what, girlfriend? You can do it. I'm telling you. I know it sucks. I know it's hard. But get them arms up. Start pushing it up. Push it up. Push it up. Push it up and off your shoulders. That's what you got to do. Because that's what I do. So that is my tip for you for this week. Okay? 1, stay away from dirty old men that are not going to pay you any money. Because they're just going to take up your time. 2, learn to live your life. Don't worry about what the next person is doing. Don't worry about that. You got a man at home and he's on his phone and he's doing this and he's doing that. You ain't got time for that. You ain't got time for that. You might be 22 years old, but let me tell you something. You will be 40 very soon because those years fly by very fast. And if you are so knee-deep in somebody else's business, you're going to look up, you're going to have gray hairs, you're going to have hurt bones, and you're going to say, where did my life go? Your life is spent worrying about the next person's life. Don't do that. Pay attention to your life. Give you all that you deserve. And when you do that, shit is going to be fine. Whether you open up an OnlyFans page, whether you lose weight, whether you open up a boutique, whatever it is that you want to do, you'll have the space in your mind and in your heart to be able to do it. These other people, as you can see, they're all doing themselves. They're all doing that, which is fine. But like I said in the beginning of this video, when it's all said and done, to be able to pay it forward, the blessings for your day, give it to somebody else with a smile. Or, hi, how are you doing? Because again, you never know whose life you might be saving. You just never know. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how many times I feel like somebody may have saved my life. Just because I needed somebody to talk to and I just didn't have anybody. and I was hurting so much. And sometimes strangers they just see it. Some of them just know, and that's all you need. That's all you need. So that's it for my weekly update. I've been very sick, and now I am getting better. And I'm hoping that next week's profits will be looking up a little bit more, because I will have the headspace. I'm loving the comments. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Because if you have a question out there, you want to understand how to get through a situation that may sound similar to what I've been talking about, all you got to do is hit me up. I am nothing but advice at this point in my life, and I will keep it real. It's Carla Alexander here with Keeping It Real. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Do not forget to turn on those notifications, and do not forget to be great and live in the moment.